Hello everyone, my name is Ethan Rooshock and we are back for another Actual Accountant Analyzes, and I, an actual accountant, will be going through what I believe is the best TV show of all time, Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad has so much depth, there's a million things I could cover, but of course there's one thing that everyone wants to hear about, and it's money laundering. So I will be going through the A1A Car Wash that Walt and Skylar buy and talk all things money laundering. Now normally I'd say stick around for the end so you can find out whether I think this business is profitable, but we just know these guys made a lot of money, but it might not have been directly related to the car wash business. Now, what better character to first introduce the concept of money laundering than everyone's favourite criminal lawyer, Saul Goodman.
Today's your lucky day. Look around, kiddo. It's all yours.
What? This?
Yeah, you are now the owner of this fine establishment.
For free?
Free? Oh, ladies, cover your ears. No, not free.
I genuinely think Jesse thought he was getting this nail salon for free.
Look, hey, this is a squeaky clean, highly profitable, at least potentially, local institution. Looked upon with favor by the Chamber of Commerce, Better Business Bureau. At $312,000, it's a steal.
$312,000.
Don't you get it? On the outside, it's a nail salon, right? On the inside, it's the best money laundry a growing boy could ask for.
So we've got our first introduction here to money laundering, and Saul's going to give a really good explanation soon. But in general, the concept of someone has dirty money that they can't declare on a tax return, for instance, and therefore they struggle to spend it. So they're going, well, how can I spend it? And of course, business is a great way for you to bring that dirty money in and wash it out clean.
You know you need to launder your money, right? Do you understand the basics of it? Placement, layering, integration?
I ain't buying no damn nail salon, so just forget it.
Well, you want to stay out of jail, don't you? I mean, you want to keep your money and your freedom. Because I got 3 little letters for you, IRS. If they can get Capone, they can get you.
That was a great little reference there.
Hey, look. Here's you, right? Pinkman, get it? Okay. Here's your cash. You're out on the town. Yeah, you're partying hardy. You're knocking boots with the chickie babes. And who's this? It's the tax man. And he's looking at you. Now, what does he see? He sees a young fella with a big fancy house, unlimited cash supply, and no job. Now, what is the conclusion the tax man makes?
This is actually a genuine thing that could happen, is that if you're overspending and living this lavish lifestyle, but you don't have the income to back it up, then it's going to raise massive red flags everywhere. This is especially true when people buy assets. So, if you're buying cars and houses and, you're registering them with your relevant government institutions and you don't have the taxable income to back that up, red flags. And of course, cash, massive red flag.
I'm a drug dealer.
Wrong. Million times worse. You're a tax cheat.
Yeah, generally could be worse, being a tax cheat rather than a drug dealer. Well, I'm not sure. I'm not here to make judgments, but both seem pretty bad to me.
This is the nail salon, right? I take your dirty money and I slip it into the salon's nice, clean cash flow. That's called layering.
I'm loving his explanation here. What Saul's trying to explain is by combining the dirty money with the clean money, it is all getting washed in together. And then this will be able to help explain how Jesse is able to afford his lifestyle. He has a legitimate way to earn his money.
Your filthy drug money has been transformed into nice, clean, taxable income.
So you want me to buy this place so I can pay taxes? I'm a criminal, yo.
Jesse does have a point. At the end of the day, that's what the money laundering scheme here is, buying a business so that his drug money that is clearly not going to be taxed goes into a business, comes out and gets taxed. But that's the general concept of money laundering. Now, before we get any further in the video, I do want to just say I don't condone money laundering. Please don't go and do it. But please do hit the subscribe button because that's the best way to support me. So do that. Don't money launder it. End of story. Let's get back into the video. So we can see Jesse doesn't really have a lot of idea when it comes to money laundering and even money in general. But Walt and Skylar definitely are much cleverer. We've got Skylar who actually works as a bookkeeper / accountant throughout the show. So she definitely understands money. So they come up with the concept of, hey, we don't want whatever Saul's come up with. We want to have a business that's really integrated into our existing lives so it looks more legitimate. And they come up with the car wash that Walt used to work at.
I have worked 30 years on building this business from nothing with my own hands. in my own sweat and blood.
I can appreciate that, truly.
This is something that happens quite often when business owners try and sell their business. They understand the time they've put into it, and like he says, the blood and sweat that has gone into it, and they try and incorporate that into the price. But at the end of the day, that isn't really what makes up the price of a business. The value of the business is going to be based on the profits it's making and maybe some goodwill of location, or maybe its exclusivity or the name of the business. Unfortunately, it's not based on how much hard work has got it to that stage.
So, with that in mind, is there a figure you can quote me? One which you think would adequately take
$10 million.
Well, let's try $879,000.
Where do you come up with this number? You pull it from your behind?
On a typical day, you average 19 cars per hour. Extrapolating, I added the extra revenues for hand waxes and detailing, subtracted your overhead and salary, maintenance, operating fees, depreciation, which I obtained from comparable businesses in the Albuquerque area, giving me an estimate of your annual cash flow. Here.
Now, if you're going to negotiate on a business purchase, Skylar has just nailed it. She has done all of her own research and be able to come and go, hey, this, and this is what makes up the value of your business. And it's just genius because it gives you the front foot rather than waiting for them to kind of dictate to you. She's going, hey, I'm going to pay this and I have the research to back it up.
To which I applied the industry standard multiplier and added the market value of your real estate, giving me a total estimated value of $829,000. On top of which, I generously added an extra $50,000. So as not to be insulting.
Skylar has just nailed this whole conversation, and if she was dealing with anyone who is logical, I think they'd be very close to a deal. Unfortunately, the history between Walt and Bogdan is definitely causing some issues here.
And your eyebrows! Wipe down this!
Now, of course, Walt and Skylar now have to go back and tell their lawyer that, hey, we're not going to follow your advice. We're going down this route instead to go with the car wash purchase.
I don't accept that he won't sell. I think he just lacks the proper motivation.
Motivation.
Well, an audit can be highly motivating. I know a gal over at Tax and Revenue. You give her 10 minutes in this Bogdan fella's books, she'll have his sky raining frogs.
No, we don't want to draw any unwanted tax attention. We don't want them looking at us after Bogdan sells.
She's got a really good point there. You don't want to go and purchase a business and have the tax people looking into that business prior. It's just going to bring a lot of attention to that sale, especially if it's happening right around the same time. Definitely a poor idea by Saul. Now, Skylar comes up with something much more cunning and genius that is really probably very illegal, but let's see how she goes about it.
Tell me exact what laws I broke.
Hold on. Okay, hold on. Wait. Okay, the New Mexico Hazardous Waste Act of 1978, Section 74, Chapter 4, Part 13 states, whenever the disposal of solid waste or hazardous waste presents
an imminent or substantial endangerment, the offender may be fined not more than $5,000 each day in which the violation occurs.
It's very genius. The New Mexico Hazardous Act is referenced there, which you can see is actually a genuine thing. And it's very backhanded tactics, but we'll see how that plays out for Skylar. Wouldn't recommend, but hey, she's going to do anything she can do to get a better price rather than the crazy $10 million he first floated.
Oh, hello, Mr. Wollenitz. Am I still interested? Well, I think that depends. Yes, $879 was the original offer, but that seems high to me now. Now I'm offering $800.
No, don't do that.
Why?
Don't do that.
Well, because you're an unpleasant person, Mr. Wollenitz. You were rude to me and disrespectful towards my husband. And furthermore, I've met with quite a number of sellers, and the market seems much softer than I thought, so $800.
There's two really smart things Skylar does here. One, she's going, hey, you weren't a nice person to me, and therefore I don't want to negotiate and play nice to you. And I think that's one key thing to remember when you're in business. Be nice to people. It could come back to bite you if you're not. And the second one is she's still trying to push that, hey, I've got other options. You know, there's other options out there. She's made this owner desperate to sell. And so she knows he's desperate to sell. And she's taking advantage of that and going, oh, well, maybe I'll go somewhere else. And she's really in the prime position now. She's up here, he's down there, and she has all the power in this negotiation.
What are you doing?
I'm negotiating.
Why?
Because I want to pay less.
Oh, no. $79,000 less? Who cares? Do you know how much I make in a day?
Yeah, but that's the very reason we need to negotiate. We don't want to arouse suspicion by not trying to get a good deal.
Look,
Scarlett is just, she's the perfect character for this. She just understands it better than any other character in the show. No matter what, she wants to stick to their story. She's going, hey, we would be in the position where we would need to negotiate every last dollar out of this, no matter how much secret money they've got hidden away. So she's going to negotiate as low as possible.
Hello? Hello, Mr. Wollenitz.
And there we go, success. Skylar wins the negotiation. She really is a key component to Walt being able to launder this money. We've witnessed them purchase the business, and now comes the fun stuff. How are they actually going to be able to launder the money? And this is going to be definitely a challenge that they face, and a challenge I don't think Skylar was even prepared for.
Bogdan was averaging 19 cars during rush hour, and we are already up to 22 actual cars. Last night, I deposited $3,800. Jesus. How much is that?
$274,000. Give or take.
Alright, I think it's just blown Skylar away by how much money there is there. She's really wanting to run this business legitimately. You can see she's talking about what's going on, which is, if someone is going to money launder, they want to know what the actual business is doing and how much it can justify to have go through it. You know, there's only so much dirty money that can go into a clean business, because otherwise it just wouldn't make sense. You know, there's going to be benchmarks that tax authorities are looking at, and these businesses could majorly fall out. And it's why they've gone with the car wash, going, hey, a lot of people are paying for cash back when this show was shot, and therefore it's easier for us to do it. We're not going to keep as onerous records. You know, if you've got a really strict point of sale system and you've got your actual sales through that and then you're trying to launder money, it's just going to fall apart.
274, and this is how often?
Every 2 weeks. Thursday's good for a drop-off.
Wait, Walt, are you telling me you make $7,125,000 a year?
7.5 even, before expenses.
But I can't. This is too much.
Scarlett is still the only one that's really understanding this. She's not going to be able to launder that level of money through this business. You know, she's not even going to be able to do probably half of it or a quarter of it, because it wouldn't make sense. Like I said, if you're not meeting what other businesses in that industry are doing...
I mean, there is no car wash in the world that could do this kind of business. I mean, this is 9 months' work here minimum.
If everyone else in that industry is doing $1 million turnover and you're here doing 10 million, it's just not logically going to make sense.
Wait a minute. Is this all 50s? Who pays for a car wash with a 50?
Skylar raises another good point there, is that if your car wash is only getting paid for with just $50 notes, it probably looks a bit suspicious. Now we get to see one of the best scenes of the whole show, all of the money that they have actually made that hasn't been laundered.
This is it. This is what you've been working for. I rented this place and I started bringing it here because...
I love the look on Walt's face in this scene.
I gave up counting it. I mean, I had to. It was just so much, so fast. I tried weighing it. I figured one bill of any denomination weighs a gram. There are 454 grams to a pound, but there's a variety of denominations.
Isn't there little money counting machines where you feed your drug money through and it counts it for you?
So...
How much is this?
I have no earthly idea.
That's going to make it very hard to launder money if you don't even know how much you've got. And it definitely asks this question that I'm sure Skylar's about to ask, well, have you got enough? Like, if you don't even know how much money you've got, why do you need more?
There is more money here than we could spend in 10 lifetimes. I certainly can't launder it. Not with 100 car washes. How big does this pile have to be?
Just love this. It's probably one of my favourite scenes of the show. Is it's just that realisation that there is a lot of money here, and no matter how good your system is for money laundering, they can't do this. Now, maybe if they had multiple car washes across the entire country and much more people involved, they might be able to make a dent into this, but with running one car wash, it's just not going to happen. This clearly shows that the money laundering ideas that people come up with are going to be incredibly hard to execute, especially in the long term, and especially the more and more money that gets involved. Now, I could sit here and talk about Breaking Bad all day, but I think I've definitely tried to give you a bit of an overview of the scheme of money laundering from when Saul first introduces it, through to them actually putting it into place, and then to realising this just isn't working. I think they cover it really well. Skylar is a key character in this, and it really is probably her strongest suit in the show, where she really shines how clever she is and how important she is to Walt's empire. What show should I cover next? Drop a comment down below and go and check out the upcoming playlist where I've done some other classic shows like SpongeBob and Jurassic Park. And I'll talk to you on the next one.